Sing a little bit. All right, well, here's the intro.
The woods can be dense for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that, those that heard it. Really, only the rewatchers will hear that part, so you're special. You're special. I hope I wasn't too off key. I'd make a great backup singer. Not a lead singer, though. Yes, Sawyer, you've been whining at me all day. Stop it. Gosh, yes. Just got back from a birthday party. There were a lot of people at the park. A lot of people. Oh, it was a little too much for me. I still got a headache from the other day. Amber, why are you texting me there? All right. Got that taken care of. All right. I'm not even on the right page here. Oh my God. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. Well, my friend Amber won't be here, so we may not get anybody. That's all right. It's all right. 3:00 on Saturday afternoon is like the worst time. And I think I say that every Saturday. I think I do. All right. But yeah, it went well. Like I said earlier, I mean, I was going for the grandkids, man. So did kind of see some of the ex-in-laws. Got along great. My ex-father-in-law, a big drinker, very big drinker. I could tell he quit drinking. He looks really good. I was surprised to see these things. Hey, Tyler, good to see you, bro. Yeah, going with a good attitude makes such a big difference, man. Nobody was being fake to me. I can tell when you're being fake with me. If you're just making conversation, And I get that feeling. So it was nice. It was nice, And that's one thing that I can detect pretty darn fast. I can detect bullshit pretty fast, especially if you're lying or being fake. Usually when you're being fake. I don't need to know you very long to know, too. There are a lot of things that happen in my life that kind of, number one, I'm Virgo, and Virgos already have a deep empathy. But we have, I tend to see things that other people don't, even other Virgos. So, and it started a long time ago. So we're going to kind of go through my life, and we're going to do a little discovery here, things like that. So welcome to Daily Trudge, Dion, host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you want to watch the live or the rewatch. And you know what, Tyler, if you want to hop on with me, man, you can. I'm fine. Like, if I'm ever doing this, Tyler, you have the link. If you ever just want to jump on and I'm on, I'll let you in, dude. Just so you know. All right. Tyler has permission to jump on with me if he wants to, because we co-host a lot of stuff. So I don't mind at all. So just so you know, dude. Yeah. If you're like, man, I got something I'd like to say on that, hop on. Whoever has the link, do it, man. I don't mind. Right now. Well, and it's going to start out kind of sad, right? So I didn't have any friends growing up. And I've always watched people. Watching people has always interested me since I was very young. And even at a young age, I was very particular on who touched me, who held me. I'm not, I don't mind giving out hugs, things like that, but I'm not much of a toucher. I don't like people touching me. I don't like people in my space. That has to do with a different thing. I, I even while I was growing up, I wouldn't let anybody besides my mother, my favorite auntie, or my grandmother hold me. That's what I was told. Of course, I don't remember it. I was about 18 months old, and I guess I let it start other people. My grandson was the same way. All right. Um, oh, you're out and about. Awesome. Cool. You got the invite. So I'm glad I could be the voice for your traveling. All right. And, so I had to do a lot of people watching. I didn't get to join in on the reindeer games. And I'm not bringing this up so it could be sad. It's kind of weird. And so I started watching people and I see how they would react in certain situations. So I started to see patterns. Right. If you tell me what you're getting ready to do, I may know what you're doing next. I'm talking about life in general. Okay. Because patterns do not lie. They tell me everything that I need to know. But I see a lot of different things, even the little stuff. You change one little thing, right? In your personality, in a physical sense, I may not notice. Like if you just went and got your hair cut, I may not notice that. I will eventually. Right. But as far as behavior goes, probably drives my wife crazy. Not as much anymore. Right. Because sometimes people want to be left alone when they're going through something. And my wife's kind of that person. She needs a little bit of alone time first. And I'm the Mr. Fix It. I don't want my wife going through that stuff. So I had to learn a balance there. But in the beginning, I'd be like, what's going on? What's going on? Just tell me what's going on. Don't sit here and tell me nothing is wrong. I know better. Okay. And it ticks me off when people say, yeah, no, I'm okay. Because you're gaslighting me. You're telling me I'm wrong. And I'm not. And I know I'm not. Okay. But the cool thing is that I can stop people from doing stupid shit. Right. Or maybe I see they're making a move and I can say something to improve that. Say, well, if you take this next step, this is what usually happens. That's what will happen to you. Right. So when I tell people, if you get into the program and you go to meetings every day, you get a sponsor, in a month, your life's going to be better. It will be. You don't have a choice. It's the pattern. It's the way that it goes. All right. So I did a lot of people watching for the first 13, 14 years of my life. Now I'm going to tell you something. People are lemmings. They always do the same thing. And it's why I'm good at what I do. I'm out here advocating for the right thing because I know when somebody's full of shit. I just get a gut feeling and I will know it. They will fool everybody else. I'm one of those people where I'm like, yeah, you may go along with them, but there's something ain't right. And I don't know why this guy's popping into my head, but he is. Jelly roll. There's something not right there. Something's not. He's out there, promoting no fentanyl, no drugs, but he's using drugs. There's something not sitting right. And I am correct. I know this. I know what's going to happen in my recovery community next. Right. So then I went on to do what? Well, I became a criminal. Not necessarily a criminal, but in the eyes of the, it's not. I didn't steal cars and break into homes and do all that stuff, but I was a criminal. I had to figure out what move to make next, um, and manipulating people. People are. I hate to say this, but people are easily manipulative. All you got to do is find the hot button. This is why when I have sponsees that tell me, "Oh, I never got angry with anybody." Oh man, am I going to be on your list? And I won't even do it on purpose. I won't go out of my way. It's just something that I do naturally. So then I started to develop a criminal mind, which means I know how to work the courts. I know how to work the system. I do. I'm very good at working the system, and sometimes I have to watch that. But those skills now, I put that skill into better use of finding allies that help me with what I need help with. Right. I'm very good at matchmaking. I'm very good at it, especially on a sponsee level. I know. I just have a gut feeling. I'm like, they are that type of personality, and that type of personality needs this type of personality for that to work for them. I can see it. It's clear as day for me. Tyler and I were talking about this other day. I had a sponsee, and I was telling him what they need, and they were female, and I knew, but I gave it a chance anyway. I'm one of those people where even though I get the gut feeling, I give it a chance because you're human and I want to help you. So, but then what happens is people that are emotional vampires end up in my life. So I got to be careful of that. In this case, what this person needs, they need a very no bullshit older female sponsor who's been in the program for a little bit, who does it the old way, who says, no, you will do it this way, or you will find someone else to help you. I'm saying they need that person. This person needs so much discipline and so much instruction. I'm not the person to do it. I'm not in a good position. Now, if this was a male, it'd be something different. Okay. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say men work with men, women work with women. I'm not going to tell you that. But I will tell you this. And it is true of almost every hour. These are the things that I see. Okay. Like this is a good example. Now, almost every alcoholic that comes in will say this. If they are male, they will say, I get along with women better. If they are female, they will say, I get along with men better. Happens almost every time. It is because we have not learned how to get along with the same sex. We're always shucking and conniving. And it's easier for us to manipulate the opposite sex. It's true. It's true. Right. So I was a criminal for a minute. Right. Then I got into the logistical part of it. I started studying human behavior. I became a drug and alcohol counselor, and I start seeing more patterns. And I did go to AI to help me out with this. Okay. I said, well, how does a person become a human lie detector? To become a skilled human lie detector, you must train yourself to observe and analyze nonverbal cues, verbal content, and deviation from an individual's normal behavior, their baseline. Tyler, I hope you don't mind if I use you. I know Tyler very well, and I know when he's off. We meet once a week, and I will know. The moment we come on, I know if he's in a good mood or a bad mood, just by the way he says hi to me. If he's in a good mood, it's like a Heidi ho, Dion, how you doing? I'm not trying to call you out here, Tyler. I'm just using you as an example. All right. When he's not doing well, I don't get that same enthusiasm. It is a cue that I see, and I know that something's wrong. And since I know what's going on in his life, I usually tend to know what it is. Yeah. That's why I like working with sponsees. I know what's going to happen next. I'll even warn you, but you ain't going to believe me till it happens. I know that. I know when the Karate Kid portion's coming up. I know when the third step is stuck. I could tell when somebody's done a solid third step. I'll tell you why. Their eyes start to shine. It's a non-verbal cue. All right. Verbal content. If you start talking different, oh man, I'm going to notice that right off the bat. Bam. There are a couple verbal cues that I listen out for. One of them is to be honest. I don't believe anybody that starts their sentences with to be honest all the time. All the time. Every now and again. Yeah, oh biggie. But I already know you're full of shit. How do I know? Because I used to use the same line until my stepdad confronted me on it. And he was not incorrect. He was not incorrect. He's this way too. In fact, I think he's better than I am. I think he's got even more. All right. So their big key training components include learning micro expressions, analysis to detect fleeting emotion displays, establishing baselines to understand normal versus deceptive body language, how you hold yourself. Well, I notice it. If you consistently misspell, I notice. And I'll tell you something. It kind of sucks noticing everything sometimes. Sometimes I want to be naive. 'Cause it can get very overwhelming, especially in large crowds. And if I'm emotionally susceptible, man, that's a hard one for me. Today I still didn't feel the best. So we left a little bit earlier, but everybody was happy to see me, right? So using strategic questioning techniques. See, I ask questions, but I always ask them a certain way because I'm looking for the right and raw answers here. Okay. If I went through some of the emails that I write to some of these executive directors, you'd probably shit yourself. Because if you think I'm not going to talk to them like a normal human being, you're incorrect. And then they come back all clinical. See, it doesn't work out. Just like this week with COPA. Okay. And what COPA does is they certify recovery coaches and recovery coaches and peer support. Okay. And we should. But they are doing nothing but endorsing the same people that commit Medicaid fraud and do these other things. And I asked him about it. I said, hey, um, I'm gonna go grab it here. I said, why are you endorsing? You guys should be, there are a lot of great places out there. A lot of great places, right? And the executive director even put her name in it. I'm like, why are you endorsing people that have committed Medicaid fraud? Oh, well, we're not endorsing them. Now I'm going to show you something. See, this is the bullshit that I catch all the time. Here's COPA's website, Colorado Providers Association. Here they are. There they are doing it. And this is the executive director's name right there. And then they even got pictures of them. These are pictures of the body brokers. Okay. So I send that back to her saying, I don't understand. You're saying you don't endorse, but here is your name on the COPA website endorsing these people. The next email was, well, if you'd like to file a complaint, it got she backed way the fuck off and got very professional. I'm putting that in quotations. Okay. Didn't answer any of my questions. I even asked, how does somebody get certified? Ignored the whole thing. Ignored it. What does this tell me? This tells me she's good friends with those people. That's exactly what it is. And I know I'm correct. She gives me a link, right? She gives me a link. Because, see, this is not normal behavior. She's the executive director of COPA. So I'm going to file a complaint on COPA. Where's it going to go? To her. That's where it's going to go. Well, we did it the right way. You see that we went through the proper channels to get this done. Well, if the complaint's going to end up to her anyway, then why is she not taking care of the complaint now? See, that's what we call being proactive. Something nefarious is up. She doesn't want to get caught. There's a fear here. There's a fear. And I know if you're in fear, that I can detect a mile away, especially if I'm talking to you about something. I will know if there's a fear. It's the same type of fear. That's why people aren't hosting. Fear. So, my question's going to be, where's God in all of it? And where's God? That's where my other intuition comes from. And it's how I know I'm right a lot of times. Your intuition is the same way. Now, these other people, they aren't using their intuition. They're just, oh, I just do the next right thing. But we don't know what the next right thing is without some sort of direction, right? Right. Just little miscues will tell me everything. So you establish a baseline. I need about 10 minutes with a person before I can tell you a lot of things about them. Give me about 5 minutes, I'll tell you what music you listen to. I'll tell you whether you were a cheerleader, a jock, a stoner, or whatever in high school. I know this stuff just by your behavior. I will know if you were ever popular just by the way you act. I can tell if you were picked on. I can tell if you were sexually abused as a young child. I know. For girls, their voices are real high. They have real high voices because when a young lady is molested at a young age, it cuts off the things that make her voice go a little bit lower. Okay, did you know that? So I know a lot about human behavior, and I used to utilize it so that I could get forward in life. Okay, even that, even with girls that I've gone out with, I've known whether I already knew. Especially if I stole her from another man. You think I'm going to trust you? I stole you from another man. That is their behavior. And guess what? They always left me for another guy, making me off the hook. Fine with me. See, I knew. I already knew, but I was using them. And that's where we got to watch things, right? So, if you can observe normal behavior, identify unique behaviors, pay attention to their usual facial expressions, body language, speech patterns, and verbal content. This isn't going to be too hard for you, alcoholic. All right. I've been doing this for a long time. It's the micro expressions. I don't have micro expressions. I have resting bitch face. You will know if you irritate me. My face is going to tell you I can't help it because in order for me to do this, I cannot be fake or my intuition will not be correct because my own intentions, and there's the key, your own intentions must be in the right before any of this can really happen to you and utilize it the right way. Yeah. Learn to recognize fleeting and voluntary facial expressions, body language. Philosophical changes. Yeah. Word choices. Listen for changes in speech patterns such as hesitation. Yeah, filler words. And filler words. Usually when somebody's using a filler word, they're just trying to figure out how they want to say it. So if you're in that position, this is what I do. I just need a second. I'm still trying to figure out how to say this. There you go. Because otherwise, I'm going to take it as you're trying to figure out how to say it. Right. So that's why those emails from Copa are so easy. Now, if we got face to face, it would be better. It'd be over in a matter of minutes because I would be able to see them and they wouldn't be able to just politely, because then she never gave me the answer. She's not going to, because at the end of the email, she pretty much said, "Oh, we're done talking." She said that. And I did write her back once. I said, "Thank you that you just gave me everything I need. You don't want accountability. I will be filling out the form. Have a great weekend. See, I can do it too. And I called her out. Yeah, you don't want to be accountable. I get it. Because if she's accountable, guess who's in trouble? Guess who's in trouble? See, fear, fear, fear. You see it all over the place. Yeah. Cognitive load. Detect signs of overthinking, as lying requires more mental effort than telling the truth. That's how I know. Your not only that, but your normal voice will change. You ain't gonna notice it, but I will. See, I do a lot of impressions. I do voice work. So when you're off by a key and it's not the same as it was 10 seconds ago, especially the other thing that happens and when people lie, their voice goes up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Inconsistencies, right? So if you're in this, use effective questioning. You know? All right. So multi-channel assessment, combined analysis of facial expression, body language, and verbal cues. Okay. And after you do this for a while, it's going to become natural. Look for clusters. These are fun ones. A single cue is not definitive. Instead, identify clusters of lying cues, often called hotspots, which signal something is amiss. So, all right. That's what I had to say on that. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm correct all the time in all of it. I mean, it's often I'm wrong often. I'm willing to make an amends. Certainly I can. But I can tell you now, even when I'm wrong, you know what I do? I make it right. And then guess what I am? Not wrong anymore. Then we establish a relationship. Hey, well, if I was wrong on that, I was wrong on it. Cool. I'm glad I was wrong. A lot of times I want to be wrong because me being wrong is actually going to benefit the situation better. Yeah. Now, sometimes people they will tell me, I know they're still lying to me, but I'll go ahead and make the amend just in case I am wrong. Even if my intuition is screaming at me, because I'm just going to walk away. Goodbye communication. I won't communicate with them anymore because I know that they're lying to me. And one day it'll come out. All right. I hate to say this, but not saying anything is still lying. And it's happening all the time here. It's what frustrates the hell out of me. Why couldn't they just admit that they committed Medicaid fraud and said I made a mistake? They made it right financially. Oh, they don't want to ruin their reputation. Oh. Well, I hope they look good in orange because it ain't gonna be much longer. I give it another 6 months. Yeah. So I needed a topic to talk on, and this was it. So I didn't even really put it out there. It's not going to go on Podbean or anything. So just thought it was an interesting topic. So, all right, that should do it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it. Love you. You know I do. Peace out.